So this video is going to be looking at the electronic handbrake. So depending on the car that you drive will depend whether you have the normal standard handbrake or you have the electronic handbrake. When the car is switched on, you'll see that the light with the P on is lit up. On a car with an electronic handbrake, when the car's happy with the mixture of the gas and the clutch, it will release the handbrake automatically. So when you go to move off, you set your gas. When you find your bite, the handbrake automatically takes off. Then when you go to pull up, you just pull the handbrake up. Now sometimes what can happen is, if you don't mix the right amount of gas with the clutch, the handbrake isn't happy and it doesn't take itself off. So if I have my car in first gear like this and I just keep letting the clutch gently up, what happens is with no gas it doesn't like it, and eventually if I was to keep letting it all the way up, the car would stall. So it's always important to make sure that you have the right amount of gas and that you're mixing it in as you let the clutch come up. Now you can take off your handbrake manually because you might be moving off downhill from behind a parked car and you might not feel happy adding in a little bit of gas and bite to take the handbrake off because it might make the car move off too quickly. To take it off manually, the foot brake has to be fully down. You'll then just press the button and it will take it off, and then it will allow you to then take your foot brake off and start to move. Now cars are designed for drivers, they're not designed for learner drivers. When you do a hill start in a car that has a manual handbrake, you'd set your revs, you'd let your clutch up until you find that the bonnet lifts at the front so that you know the car is moving forward, and then you would release the handbrake. The problem is that in the automatic handbrake car, when you set the gas, if you take a little bit too long to have your bonnet lift at the front, what happens is it detects biting point and it takes the handbrake off, and it might take that off a little bit too premature for you. So a good way to practice this on the side of the road is to put the car into first gear, not actually add gas, and keep letting your clutch up until your bonnet lifts, so you sort of develop this muscle memory of knowing exactly how far up your clutch needs to come before it gets to the point where it's going to be happy to move off on a hill. Then when you get to that point, keep your feet still and then make sure that you mix the gas going on and the clutch coming up evenly. Imagine the thickness of a £1 coin. Add a little bit of gas, the thickness of that, let the clutch up, the thickness of that, and if you keep working the two at the same time, the handbrake should then take off comfortably. If you don't mix the gas in when you get to this point, usually what happens is you're trying to let the clutch up and the handbrake again is not happy to release, and again it will start to struggle. So just make sure that you're mixing the feet evenly. Never rush when you're doing the hill start. Take your time, because it's better to get it right first time than stalling and taking longer to move off. So just a reminder, the handbrake takes itself off automatically when it's happy with the mixture. You can take it off manually by having the foot brake totally down, but you always have to pull it on manually. It doesn't come back on itself. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe for some more driving videos.